Greetings and welcome to this week's race overview, where we will be taking a quick look at the Charr. I'm your host, Fury, and let's just get going. So, what are the Charr? You've probably seen pictures of them, but for those of you who haven't, they are a feline-like race that stands at a commanding 9 feet, and who have 2 sets of horns and 2 sets of ears. Yes, I did say 2 sets of ears. One set picks up high frequencies, and the other set picks up low frequencies. This posed a problem when trying to conduct diplomatic relations with the humans, seeing as the average human speaks in the mid-range of frequencies, which the Charr don't pick up well. This, as you could guess, would lead to the Charr diplomats getting pretty aggravated due to not being able to hear them. And as anyone who's met a Charr could tell you, you don't want to piss one off. Moving on to slightly more important topics. What is the Charr civilization like? They are very militaristic by nature. Everything they do is focused on supporting the military. Charr cubs, when weaned from their mother, are placed into something of a boarding school, during which they are trained in the art of combat. From there, they are brought into a war band. War bands are small military units that are part of the larger legion. Each war band is comprised of no more than 20 members, and is more closely knit than other races' families. During the character creation of a Charr within the game, you can choose which warband you are a part of, and also which legion. What are these legions, you ask? The legions make up the main structure of Charr civilization. Each legion is led by one Charr, and those leaders make up the main government. There are 4 legions, and let me tell you about them briefly. The first is the Iron Legion. These guys use the most siege weaponry and also developed the engineer profession. Next is the Blood Legion. They are most well known for their excellence in standard combat. Next is the Ash Legion. They are famed for their assassins and spies. Lastly, we have the Flame Legion. This is the magic-focused legion. They are still religious, whereas the rest of the Charr are not. As such, they have been outcast by the rest of the Charr, and cannot be picked when creating your character. So why would I play a Charr? They are, by far, the most intimidating race in the game, with the exception of the Norn. I personally think that they are more intimidating than the Norn, but that's up to debate. Their sheer badassedness sets them apart on the battlefield as someone you don't want to mess with. They also get landmines and other such explosives, as well as a buff to you and your allies, as race-specific utility skills. Meaning that you could roll a Charr Necromancer and have a limited supply of explosives at your disposal. That is pretty cool in my opinion. So, we can conclude that if you like the intimidation factor, and the feeling of towering over your enemies on the battlefield, the Charr are the race for you. That's me done for the day. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. For any of you lore geeks out there, like myself, be sure to tune in next week. That's right, next week, not 2 weeks. Next week for the history of the Charr. If you don't care too much about lore, then just tune in 2 weeks where we will take a good look at the resilient humans. But until then, I'm Fury, and I'll see you around.